member of Norfolk's Domestic Violence Fatality Review Team, and also for the Child Fatality Review Team. Betty Wade Coyle has her finger on the pulse of any legislation that can clarify and strengthen legal recourse for victims. And that is what we're going to talk about, albeit briefly, today. We've had legislation that will be going into effect on July 1. And Betty, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, a lot of it points to child abuse prevention.
Well, this was a big year in terms of laws trying to fill the gaps that we found after the Penn State incident.
Yes.
And so Virginia has expanded the list of mandated reporters to include, as of July 1st, all employees of universities and colleges, public and private, coaches, recreational directors, all kinds of people that work with youth. So there are a lot of people out there that are now going to be mandated reporters of child abuse, and they need to get up to date on what child abuse is and how to make those reports.
It's really swelled the population of mandated reporters to a degree that I think was unanticipated when you think about the sheer volume of people.
It's a lot, but I mean, if you work with kids over the years, or even if you don't, you know you have that duty. If a child comes to you and says, "I've been abused,"
yeah,
you need to report it to somebody. I think we all know that. So it's not insurmountable, the education we need to do.
Okay. And then, of course, educating the people that are mandated, meaning they're required to report this if they suspect it.
Correct.
And if they don't, that's not a good thing. So you need to know what it is that you're looking for, even if you may already have some intuitive feelings. So where are people going to go for training for something like this? I know it's provided in some respects already, but at this, with this number of people.
Well, the State Department of Social Services has an extensive booklet online that people can go and read. They also have an online training course, which is not quite up and going yet, but will be by July 1st.
Okay.
And you can get a certificate from that. It's a free course, but it takes an hour or so to do it. So there are those sites, but I think, and again, we as a community, departments of human services as well as private providers and nonprofits need to present some of these trainings in the next couple months, and we will be doing that at Prevent Child Abuse. And Kids Priority One, the website for all of the activities in Hampton Roads, will list the mandated reporter training. So if people are interested in finding one that they can attend, they just have to check with the calendar on that website.
Okay, so you can attend or you can go online and do this. Although attending isn't such a bad thing. In case you have a quick question you need answered, you get the immediate
exactly feedback. And you can always call Human Services CPS when you report, and you can ask, is this reportable? What do I need to do? What information do you have? They're very helpful in guiding you in that process as well.
Okay, great. We have we had a number up on the screen for child abuse prevention. I put up something on adult abuse and neglect as well, since we're on the topic of, protecting our vulnerable citizens. So, and also Prevent Child Abuse Hampton Roads phone number and website. So you can find out more about some of the training that might be out there if you find that you now are a mandated reporter or you know somebody who is. I'm sure that's probably quite a few people. So among the things that have to be done for mandated reporters would be getting the training, knowing what to look for. Are there also some limits in terms of times to report?
In fact, they've actually shortened the reporting time in the current legislation. It was 72 hours. Now it's been shortened to 24 hours.
Wow.
The one exception is when we have substance-exposed babies at the hospital. A lot of the toxicology tests are taking a long time to come back, so that time has been expanded to 6 weeks. And in the case of fetal alcohol syndrome, there's no time limit on the reporting of that.
Okay, because that's something that could be detected at various stages in a
right,
child's
and
growth.
Frequently isn't detected for a year or two after birth.
Okay, so the infants, they have more time, but from 72 to 24 hours is a big change.
Well, it is, but for most of the CPS workers are really happy about that, because if you wait too long, circumstances change, bruises go away, perpetrators escape.
Change. Yes, people have a second.
Yeah,
they have second thoughts, and they back down.
So it's really easier to get action if you do it sooner.
What about protective orders? Anything new on that front at all?
They've tweaked protective orders to some extent, trying again to get them served more expediently, and that's very, very hard because the system has to react. I mean, you can change the law, but making a system that's low on resources do things faster sometimes is difficult. But they made little tweaks. They put more under the jurisdiction of the juvenile court and things, again, that we wouldn't see necessarily out in the public, but that makes it easier for protective orders to be in place. But remember, they're a piece of paper.
That's right. So enforcing them and making sure that people are protected.
Well, it's helpful to have them in place, but they're not like a steel wall.
That's right. They can't take care of everything.
Right. They can't take care of everything.
They're not the panacea for domestic
unfortunately.
violence. No, they're not. Well, the fact that there has been a lot more attention focused on these areas is a good thing. Hopefully that isn't just the flurry of activity for 1 year and then they go on to something else, but
well, they
maybe
did
it's a beginning.
Increase the penalties for not reporting.
Okay.
Their fines, and if they're serious sexual offenses like occurred at Penn State, they actually could be a criminal charge. So that was a change as well to help encourage people to report, particularly the child sexual abuse cases.
And domestic violence, when you're coming into who's being charged with what, some of those penalties are changing as well, are being strengthened.
To some extent, but again, it's just what I want to say. For example, they upped the penalty for strangulation this year because in a lot of domestic violence cases, that's one of the things that people do.
Well, and surely through some of the reviews and everything you've done, you see that that can be certainly one of the ways that keeps coming up time and time again. Well, I guess that's good news about what is normally just bad news. And I know there's tons more, but if you want to go online, you can certainly check with the Virginia Department of Social Services or the legislature's website to get more information on legislation. But mandated reporters, you know, heads up, and training will be on the way. Betty, it was brief, but always informative. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks. Well, when we return, we're going to speak to the dynamic executive director of a local foundation.